I want it to be built and finished by Christmas. I totally understand wanting to get your home improvements finished by Christmas. That's the time of year when you spend the most time inside and you want to be able to have your friends and your family around and drink mulled wine and give gifts and all the rest of it. But is getting it finished by Christmas really realistic? In this video, I'm going to talk about deadlines and timescales with you. And what makes me qualified to do that? Well, hello, I'm Jane, and I'm a chartered architect and a home redesign specialist. And I've helped over 100 homeowners to redesign their homes and supported many of them through the whole design and build project. Right now, I'm planning some home improvements of my own, and we're planning a big trip next summer, and we're considering the possibility of renting our house out while we're away. So I bought this house as a project. It was in need of a lot of TLC, and that project is still ongoing. And my aim is to get our home into a rentable condition on a tight budget so that we can enjoy living in it more and we can recoup some of the costs by renting out during our holiday. My hard deadline for completing this project is the end of June, the beginning of July. This is going to give us time to pack for our holidays, clear out our stuff, get the place deep cleaned and make sure it's ready for people to arrive. But what I've done, as I do with all my projects, is I've gone back to see what other deadlines we need to hit before then to make sure that that final hard deadline is possible. So for a typical house extension project, there would be planning application submission as a deadline, construction tender deadlines, and other things to meet in order to get that final hard deadline. And in my case, if we decide to go ahead and rent out our house, then we're going to need to take photographs and post it onto Airbnb or somewhere. I'm mostly familiar with Airbnb because I have been an Airbnb superhost. I used to let out our spare bedroom. So doing that, it means we need to have that earlier deadline to get the house photo ready. And I'm sort of assuming we're going to need to target the end of January as a time when people might be starting to look at booking places to rent for the summer. So this is Manchester, so it's not the kind of place that people choose to come for a summer holiday. It's more likely that anyone renting our house during that period is probably going to be going through their own build project and they're looking for a place to rent nearby while they have like their kitchen, their bathroom replaced in their own home. So that's the kind of target market that I'm aiming at. So the other thing that we've got is a couple of birthdays at the end of April. So my son and I both have our birthdays 7 days apart at the end of April. So I've set that as a soft deadline for completion so that we can have all the main works finished and we can enjoy celebrating, maybe have a bit of parties, friends around, and enjoy the home that we have, having done the bulk of any work. And that means that we'll have another couple of months to finish bits and bobs off. And so that's how I've approached it. I've looked through the project timeline from now, the end of September, all the way through until July. And then I've set these milestones or mini deadlines as we go. And then I've also gone through certain parts of the project. For example, one of the things we're going to do is decorate the living room. And I've created kind of mini project plan just for that. So we're going to be doing it DIY at the weekend. And so I've set out what we're going to do at each weekend based on what's realistically achievable with all our other commitments and our skill set. And so another deadline that we've got, of course, is Christmas. And the plan is to get that living room decorated first, so we'll be able to enjoy it for Christmas. And then there are lots of like maintenance and safety related tasks like getting the boiler serviced, getting gas safety certificate. I know that what I've planned out is realistically possible and it includes the most impactful jobs that we really have to get done. And the main thing is that if we stay on track, then we'll have from the end of April to the beginning of July to either add in more stuff if we want to do a bit extra, or to relax, enjoy the spring and the early summer. Or worst case scenario, we've got 2 months of buffer time between our soft deadline of the end of April and that birthday celebration period to finish things off before our hard deadline of July. So that's how I approach project deadlines and timescales. I like to make sure it's not disastrous if things are overrun, because I include some buffer time to allow for things to crop up. And if they don't, fantastic, you can be finished a bit early. I also like to make sure that it's realistically achievable without stress. And I like to make sure that I've taken account of life, fun things, stuff already planned in, like Christmas. And I also like to make sure that for things that I've got no control over, for example, my gas engineer's availability, that I've got added time buffer for flexibility. So hopefully she's going to be able to give me a date and be able to come. I've already contacted her. But if she's not going to be available, then I've got time to look around and get another gas engineer to come and do the work for us. So the typical timescales that you can expect for different stages of house extension project are useful to know. It's useful for you to be aware of those and what the different stages are and what the different kind of things to think about as milestones and deadlines, sort of mini interim deadlines are when you're planning out your project. So these are things that I go through, like what's typical, and I help you to figure out your timescale that's going to work for you in my Renovation Roadmap Live. That's happening this Friday, the 29th of September. But if you're watching sometime in the future, hello, the future, then you can book in for the next Renovation Roadmap Live, which will be happening in a few months. I run them a couple of times each year. So there'll be another one coming up soon. If you want to just get started now, then you can get started with the on-demand Renovation Roadmap DIY. And also, if you want to, you can buy my home project planner. You can get that print on demand on Amazon, and that also goes through like typical timescales that you can expect. So I'm going to pop the links for the Renovation Roadmap Live, the Renovation Roadmap DIY, and the My Home Project Planner down in the description. If you'd like to know what else you need to consider and decide when you're planning your big home improvement project, then watch my video somewhere. There'll be something that appears on the screen about how to start your project. So that game changer way to start your project. And if you've got any questions at all, then do pop them in the comments. I read and reply to all my comments, so don't be shy. And best of luck with your home improvements, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.